Hi guys, Andy here. I have here my Nexus 6P and then a new skin from dbrand, the most precise fit on earth, a Canadian company. So it's taken a little bit of time to get here, but hopefully it'll be worth it. I've gone for a bit of a Gary yellow just to give it a try. And at first I thought, oh, why have they sent me 3 of them? But actually when you watch the video explaining how to fit it, it tells you you receive 3 different types. One where there's the whole Nexus cut out, one where there's just the X cut out, and one with nothing. So that's just the back plate, obviously you get the different sides, and so I'm going to go with we'll go the full. I don't know if I might regret it because I guess it's going to be harder to do. I don't know, we'll see. We'll give it a go. So let's take a look what's in it. So there was a microfiber cloth. I don't particularly, I've got quite a few microfiber cloths, but it's quite nice for it to be there. Sort of side panels, and I guess top and bottom. We'll see. The different coloured Nexus bits. I think I might go black because I've not got. I don't think I chose. So you can have a different colour for the camera cutout. But I've chose to leave it black. So if I have the black Nexus, that might look quite nice, perhaps. Now there is dbrand do some very good instructional videos on how to do it, how to apply the skin. This is not an instructional video, so you might see bits and pieces of me doing it and such. But I'm not gonna. There's no point you watching me do it when there's a very good instructional video on dbrand. Own website. I think it's dbrand.com/how-to. If I can. Oh, I've lost it now. Oh well, the one it's gone to. I mean, I think it is. It says on here. Yeah, there it is. Look, dbrand.com/how-to. Then you choose your device, and yeah, it's got a very comprehensive video explaining how you do it. So I'm going to be following that while I do it myself. So yeah, like I said, there's no point in me making you watch it. I might show you bits and pieces as we go, but otherwise, let's get cracking. Now, the first thing that I realised was I couldn't do it with the camera in the way. There was just no way. You've got to be quite precise in lining things up, and I couldn't do it looking around the camera. So I've moved the camera off to the side, and I'll show you a little bit of me applying the skin, but you don't want to watch the whole thing. You don't need to watch the whole thing. The second problem I realised was actually I couldn't see if the tiny mic was lined up with the hole. So I audibled and I lined it up with the fingerprint sensor, and then I did my best to check that it was lined up straight, and I went from there. I'm going to crank it into a bit of a fast forward. It generally, I mean, I'm not good with fiddly things. I've got big old fingers, and I'm just not the best person to be fitting a skin probably, but I generally a bit of an issue there where I accidentally pulled the camera bit out. I used the hairdryer a little bit, as you see, but they were in preference of using a microfiber cloth and just rubbing it lots, and that does generally, you can feel it getting hot actually under your finger. Although I did realise fairly quickly that actually it kind of wore on my microfiber, and it wore out a little patch, I think. I thought, oh, okay, in that case, maybe I will use their almost throwaway little microfiber patch. You could definitely feel the heat coming through a bit more when there's only one layer of it as well, which not a good thing. Just saying, you could tell it was working when you rub it 10 to 15 times along the edge. You could feel it warm up, making the skin a bit more pliable, and I guess letting it sort of relax into place almost. So generally the back went on without too much trouble. I don't think the camera bit was lined up perfectly, but and don't worry if, so at one point I thought I was going to have like almost a bubble, but actually the skin sort of adjusts and just kind of eases into place, especially when you apply a little bit of heat. So then I thought, oh my goodness, I've got to get the Nexus pieces in. But actually it wasn't that hard. They seem to fit sort of quite nicely. It's because the skin is, I mean, it's got a bit of thickness to it, so the letters kind of fall into the gap almost, as long as you're reasonably careful with it. And then putting the edges around, you just line them up with the power or the volume and do your best to keep it relatively straight. You might notice on the one side there's a bit of a gap. Now you get 3 different pieces that can go into this gap. If my first one was too long, so I used the next one. Simple as that. Here we are at the last stage. There we go. I started with it turned off, and then so I was rubbing the edge with the power button, turned itself on, which I should have turned it back off again really. But so I'm trying to think if I did use the hairdryer a couple of times, but that was more for, they generally seem to be a fan of just using the friction. And there we go, complete. Oh, that's one to keep an eye on. So I can always I have got somewhere here a second set of silver letters. So I could have another go at that N. I think I might do, because that's not sticking down, but I can do that after the video. So there we go. I really like that actually. So like I say, it's a bit of a garish, loud, and it's not perfect. So obviously there's still the line, and I'm probably not the best at fitting. I'm not good with little fiddly things, my big chunky fingers and all. But generally, I personally think that looks really nice. Now obviously there's a whole variety of colours and styles, and you can have wood ones or metallic ones, and I just went for a bright garish yellow, and I'm very pleased with that. It gives and it feels pretty tough actually, so it will give a certain element of protection to your device. You know, you'd be going somebody to scratch through the dbrand skin into the phone. Well, there you go. So that's dbrand.com. The prices vary depending, because you don't have to have got, so you know, if I'd got a camera element, that would have been a few pound more, or if I'd just gone the back plate, it would have been a different price. But they're around, I think it was $20. But go and have a look yourself. Choose a colour you like. I'm going to redo that N there. But for now, my name's Andy. I'll catch you all again soon.